Beavis and Butthead are not real. They are stupid cartoon people completely made up by this Texas guy who we hardly even know. Beavis and Butthead are dumb, crude, thoughtless, ugly, sexist, self-destructive fools. But for some reason, the little wiener heads make us laugh.
Get used to that song, Brandinho, because you're going to be hearing it a lot. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. Oh, yeah. When I saw that song come up on the playlist, I was like, yes. Yeah, I absolutely love that song. It's the song for Yakuza 0. I absolutely fucking love that song. I play it all the time on my fucking phone. And on occasion, I'm like, I do sometimes skip it on my phone just simply because I actually kind of think, well, it's probably going to come up on my stream, so I could enjoy it then. I've had that happen a few times to where I'm fully aware there are some songs on my playlist and there are some songs on my phone, and it's a case of, well, I mean, if it's on my phone, it's on my streaming playlist. If it comes up on my phone, I'm probably just gonna... There have been times where I skip songs just simply because I know it's gonna be on the stream. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we are... If I recall correctly, we're coming up on a... With Danganronpa, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a moment to where we're going to have, like, 2 back-to-back trials soon, if I recall correctly. So there's probably, like, 3 or 4 trials left, if I recall correctly. So we're basically getting near the end. So just a heads up on that front. So yeah, and I think that's about it. So other than that, I'm doing good. I'm just getting my controller here. Let's fire it off. Probably should mute the audio first. Almost clicked on Payday. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. To click on a fucking game that we played yesterday. Yeah, I can't think of anything that I really need to let you guys know about. This is just my coffee. Felt like I would probably need it. Still has ice. Too loud. Louder. All right.
Danganronpa.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we're in the middle of a trial, or no, not a trial, an investigation. Oh, maybe I did the investigation already. Well, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure out by this... Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you?
Huh?
What are you, jealous?
Hey.
Or are you just making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. You'll be here any second. I'm assuming that is Monokuma? Any second. He could show up any minute. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But we stood there for 5 full minutes waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma showed up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again. What should we do? Should we keep waiting here, or... or what? Jeez! Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You are the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words...
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here. Now can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I will arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. If I recall correctly, one of us has been missing. Or we suspect might be dead. Because we found a body in the garden, and everyone's accounted for, but a certain somebody is kind of missing. When we heard that voice, we all sprung around to look.
Hey.
She was the one that was missing, and we could have swore was dead. I'm here, and no rules been broken. Kyoko. Kyoko, you're still alive. No, that's a ghost! Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of that fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You are so selfish, so spoiled. You are right. There's no penalty officially, but I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're late. I think I said that wrong. I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko? So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we've got to deal with a ghost. No, that means we need to question who the body is. I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on, let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Master, wait for me. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we took too long.
But...
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you, where have you been this whole time? You use that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So, also, if I recall correctly, Kyoko, she doesn't have her room key, so she's kind of been wandering the school, not being able to go in her room. So, also a little bit of a story there of like, you know, what have you been doing this whole time? So, there's a lot of questions here. You used the key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So, I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I couldn't go to the trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry, I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precisely, not
In
quite.
other words...
I use Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Just a second.
What are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial. Okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation, because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her, that's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all, seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? I'm just gonna see if there's any coins. So I think this is actually the only time to where we actually are in here. When it heard. Alright. Being the last one left, I stepped onto the elevator. And the doors slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusty darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes, but it wasn't the illumination light of hope. I'm just going to set this down. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Chills! Kills!
Let's get on with the show. And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate. A deadly class trial. Hey, we get a save. Yo. Okay. Sure, let's take a look at skills, see what all we could get, if any. Ah, don't have enough points for that. Reload 2 bullets at once, effective during the bullet. I think I'll pass. Is that the only one? Yep. Yep. Let's go.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
There's gonna be various different things, I'm sure. Important trait that proves the body doesn't belong to her. I'm gonna say Kyoko's gloves, maybe? I'm gonna say the gloves.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh! You know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we are gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to... Honestly, this part's just for the lol, dude. This is just for the lol. We're convincing a guy that Kyoko's not a ghost. That's what we're doing right here.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I know that the body isn't Kyoko, and I know I can prove it.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
The person we're trying to convince is Hero, so I'm sure it's his quote. And I'm thinking we gotta... Because if you're wearing gloves, you can't really wear... you can't really have fake nails, which is what the body had.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong. No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Oh god, it is such a lull. Now, the game can actually start. Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Solid.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
I'm guessing it's gotta be Hina. And the one thing that can tell us was on the victim's body. It's gotta be the
Kyoko
tattoo.
really is still alive.
Gotta be the tattoo.
Then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Nope.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we found, the victim's body should be clear. Any information? Would it be this?
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... A wolf?
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us, just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects. Well, if it's amongst us, us and Kyoko both don't have alibis, so it's gonna be Kyoko and ourselves, Makoto.
I got it!
Because we don't have
Narrowed it
alibis.
down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the other suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? When she went to go get the pickaxe.
That was... at 11? Or was it 9?
Shoot! I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
For some reason, I thought it was 9 p.m. Don't ask why. I thought it was... Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here at 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't prove an alibi for that period, then I have to prove the murder didn't happen during that time. I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
I'm gonna say the sprinklers? There's something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. It's the sprinklers. Thinking back, the corpse was almost totally dry. In which case, I should be able to figure out when the body must have appeared in the garden. It's gotta be the sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Oh, is that not it? Then is it what Byakuya says?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No, that's wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should be completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
This is completely redundant because she was... Wait. No, she got exploded in the air. Never mind. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure she was right there when we dumped a bucket of water. That's right, she got exploded into the air and she passed out, kinda, and was a little brain dead for a little bit. So, yeah, she probably has zero recollection. I take everything back. I forgot about that.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
Everyone should know. Everyone should know because everyone else saw it. You need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with a certain evidence that... and that should do it. If we took a look at the body itself, that should make it clear. It's only the top half that was soaked. It was only the top half.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. How can you say it wasn't this?
Should prove it. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on.
Horny chip.
The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
What about before 7:30? Just saying.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
I'm an idiot. If the body was there at 7, it would have been drenched, so... Well, if the body was killed elsewhere and then brought there at 9... Maybe? I'm overthinking.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone, that's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something. At the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been... Wasn't there like a tarp? I think it was the tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
Couldn't there be blood at least? Like just a little?
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Yeah, we're kind of doing the last couple of trials here, so... Welcome, Bronino. Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? I'm doing good.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
Yeah, it just kind of feels weird the past couple of weeks. It feels like I had like a stomach ache that was like coming and going, and now it actually kind of feels like everything's settled. So now I'm just kind of glad that was over because it was so hit and miss. I can't worry about Kyoko's motives if I don't do something everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. See if I remember
By
this.
covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
I don't know which one it would be. I remember the blood on the body hadn't dried yet. Ryakula even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
I might need to look at each one. Fragments? Okay, so that's the bomb. Yeah, so that's the bomb. What was the other ones? Body... I'm assuming this. mask covering the head, a white jacket covering the body. A knife had been thrust into the abdomen. There were blood stains around the wound. Body had stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It was noted, however, that there was no blood on the ground around the body. Maybe that's what we gotta go with? Explosion. There it is. Burnt upper half, beyond recognition. Upper half remained on fire to be extinguished because of the upper half was soaked wet. Bottom remained dry. Sounds like it could be body before the explosion.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty!
Damn it. I don't know which one it is. I remember the blood hadn't dried yet. Warned us not to touch it.
By covering the body with the tarp.
Talking about the blood?
The killer prevented it from getting wet.
I might just have to wing it.
So the reason the tarp was only...
Wait, that's not the button I wanted to press. There it is.
Because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Yeah, this is gonna take me a moment, because I do...
By covering the body...
It's moments like this is the reason why I prefer to do the investigation and the trial back to back, because the information would be fresh and everything else. So this part, I'm just so... I don't know. Nothing feels right. So I'm just gonna have to wing it.
The killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only
just go for it.
On one side.
Let's probably... So we're probably gonna fail this.
By covering the body with the tarp.
We'll go with body before the explosion.
Wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Don't know where it is.
Shoot!
It's gonna take me a while.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
I don't know which one it is.
Shoot!
Yeah, we're gonna fail this.
The killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side...
I'm just taking shots in the dark until something just clicks. I might have to grab a quote, I think. There's a chance I probably need to grab a quote, maybe.
I refuse to give up yet!
I completely forgot this one. Nothing's clicking to me. We definitely know it's not fragments. That's a definite.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
So we have 3 options. And I forget which ones I use,
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only
1.
dirty on one side.
So we're gonna go with body.
Shoot!
What is it? Body what now?
By
Body
covering
before the
body with
explosion.
tarp,
We'll go with that.
the
We'll
killer
try it 3
prevented
times.
from
It's
getting
probably
wet.
gonna fail.
So
We did the first
reason the
one.
tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
I really don't know.
Shoot!
We're gonna have to grab stuff, I'm
By
assuming.
covering the body with the
So
tarp,
now we gotta do the 3rd one.
the killer prevented it from getting wet.
I'm doing process
So
of
the reason
elimination
the
through
tarp was
failure.
only dirty on
So we
one
already did this
side
one.
is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
We just did this one.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
Oh, that was it?
Wrong.
Okay.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Yeah, because we were talking about the status of the body, like the actual body itself. So, fragments, that would have been the explosion side, and we're kind of looking at, like, the overall status of it, so... Fragments wouldn't have been it. So I already knew that one was, out. Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
By the way, I get that a lot to where if I can't figure something out, I just do process of elimination.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Got the blood from there in the garden, which must mean we had a missing chicken.
I got it!
There was a
Could it
chicken
have
missing.
been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
Poor chicken nuggies. No one grilled him. Or her.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Right? She knows. She knows. That's why Hina's the best.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
Also, I'm pretty sure none of this was even in the anime, to where you have like a full discussion of like, we should have eaten the fucking chicken.
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Among Us single player. The suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
But we also have a kitchen. There's plenty of knives there. So we're gonna just rule those ones out, and we're just gonna stick to that one. But then again, maybe it's like a different knife from the kitchen, so therefore, yada yada yada.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Oh no, I'm being suspected by the guy that is 30% right. Where was it 40? I forget. Or maybe it was 20. It kind of fluctuates. Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer, I'm telling you. Even the game is saying it. I didn't do shit. I fell asleep. I was attacked in my sleep.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
What did I do? We already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means the knife was thrusted through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
What's the disguise? I think that's the new one that, yeah, so this was the new one that was just added. Murder took place before the sprinklers turned on. The suspect covered the body with the tarp to prove. Oh, fuck! Hey, Josh! God damn, it's been so long, dude. Welcome, man. It's been forever. Basically, I kind of am playing this again because it's a game I love, and it was someone's birthday, and here we are. Yeah, life and all. That's it, man. Yeah, things have kind of been... Funny thing is, I may have gotten another sub to kind of maybe play Yakuza. So there's a chance, if you remember what happened in Discord so long ago, I could only assume we are going to be experiencing that again. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know if Ronino is still in chat, but basically Josh, like we just kind of had like the most awesome moment in my fucking Discord. I was seeing like screenshots of like various different things just like kind of take place, and it was like having a stream in my Discord just by using screenshots. I knew exactly what was taking place, and the whole time I was just like, oh my god, Josh is going through the moment. So we kind of had like a whole thing, and this is one of those things to where now all of a sudden we can't experience that again. I swear to God, if you post screenshots, first time meeting Nugget. Hey, careful with the spoilers here. Careful with the spoilers. He hasn't even. I don't even know if he even installed it yet. Apparently he's going through, what is it? Ghostwire Tokyo. Seems like an awesome game. Probably a game that I would have ended up playing, but I ended up hearing some details on it to where it was kind of like, I don't know, it's a quick game, there's not a whole lot there, a lot of potential, but it was like, kind of like, I don't know. It came up short in a lot, so. But yeah, it's a case of a lot of potential. Seems good. Could be a good game. It's one of those things. Currently, right now, other than playing this again, I am also going through freaking Neo 1. Dear God, that is a brutal fucking game. Somehow, I haven't hit the wall yet. I'm glad it's a short game, because it's getting boring already. Still 0 deaths, I swear. If you go from Sekiro, which basically that's what Ronino did, is he's coming off of a Sekiro run, and it was, if it's anything like Neo, it is brutal as hell. So we're kind of both doing like Dark Souls kind of type of games at the moment, so I almost died sometimes. Wait, you only have 4 deaths in Sekiro? Goddamn. Yeah, I've died 1,000 times over in freaking goddamn. Almost died. Oh, you played it 4 times. Gotcha. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were saying you were wanting to, I think, unless I'm confusing you with somebody else, I think someone told me they were trying to do like a 100% run or something like that. Unless that was somebody coming into my chat and mentioning, oh yeah, I'm doing Neo as well, and I'm trying to do a, if it's not you, it was someone in my chat that was saying, like, I'm trying to do a 100% run. It was you! Okay. Because otherwise it was probably, somebody watching me do Neo, and they were saying, oh yeah, I'm going for a 100% run in this. That may have happened, but yeah. Okay, so it was you. Yeah, that would explain why you had to play it like multiple times. And then if they have New Game Plus, you could probably like keep all your gear and all that stuff. Took 4 runs to 100% Sekiro. That is just insane. I'm still going through Neo 1 in my first playthrough, and it is it is brutal. It feels like the second I get like more than one enemy target, it's fucking, oh god, don't even bother, you're dead, you're just dead. So, and now I'm kind of like getting close to the end. If I'm not at the end, I'm like getting close to, and I notice in some cases they just bump up the difficulty in terms of just adding more people in the same area, so that way you get attacked multiple times. And it's one of those things to where it's like, if I fought this one-on-one, I know I could win, but the second you get more people, it's just oh, right. Yeah, I think you were telling me about that. What is that they're flinging at us? Yeah, that's... I remember you were saying something about that. Which is a very interesting boss, to say the least. But, yeah, Sekiro and Nioh, they both are kind of like Dark Souls, and they are very, very brutal, so... I wouldn't be surprised if, I kind of feel like timing is probably not the greatest. Because, like, if you're coming off of Sekiro and, you know, you kind of want that difficulty, it's one of those things. I'm kind of hoping that, at least with... I'm kind of hoping with Ghostwire, because my mindset, or at least the thinking of it, is it's a case of, well, if the combat is weak to where it's not really much of a challenge combat-wise, the trade-off, the good trade-off should be, the story should be really good and compelling and rich, and the storytelling should be through the roof, because that's what you get from playing the Yakuza series. Because I played the main series of Yakuza, the entire thing, and I could talk all day about it. And I could safely say there are some boss fights that are they're pretty tough. But the good trade-off is, when it comes to Yakuza, you get really good storytelling, but unless you're going up against a boss fight, it could be hit and miss. Because throughout the entire series, I want to say there was one boss fight that actually was a bit of a pain in the ass. Probably, just for spoiler purposes, I'm not going to get into it, you know, but there's one boss fight that did take place that it was a pain. Each death, I had to think, okay, so what went right there? Okay, this went well, but this went to shit, so how do I counter that? So each time I keep dying, it was like a case of, okay, I know what I did wrong and maybe change it up, so... I want to see what happens when the player dies. I mean, there is that thought when you know, you haven't died in the entire game, and you do kind of wonder if there is like a cutscene, because otherwise you can tell where some people have cut corners and stuff. Because I've seen it to where, especially in recent memory, it sounds like there's like a bunch of games that came out to where they're just kind of they don't even do an animation. They just end and say game over, and it's like, what the hell? But I want to close the game with 0 deaths too. That would be interesting if you could go through the entire game and like not die once. That would be interesting. I was actually trying to think of like if there ever was a game to where I played it beginning to end and never died once. It feels like every game I could think of, I could usually die, it seems like. but I always was able to like save scum or something or another. Or it seemed like in, I want to say in like Grand Theft Auto, there may have been like a few times to where I didn't die, but I failed the mission and I had to like do it over. And it's like a case of, I didn't necessarily die, I just couldn't complete something in a certain amount of time and what have you, so. But anyway. But yeah, I hope Ghostwire Tokyo goes well. All I can say is Yakuza's a hell of an experience, and there's a reason why it's my favorite game of all time. I'm going to be very careful on what I say here, because I definitely don't want any spoilers. I think Josh could easily confirm that there are some side missions, some side quests that trump the main story, or at least come to par in terms of storytelling. It's just one of those minute details that just shows why there was so much tender loving care that went into the game. It gives you more reason to try and want to do like even the side stuff, because everything is just so perfect. The music is good, the characters are awesome, good story, side quests that are on the same level as the main story. It's I could, there's a reason why that is my, I don't know. Definitely top 10. Most likely top 5, but I honestly think arguably it's easily in my top 3 games of all time. The guy that wants to cut your little... Josh, I'm gonna have to tell you to calm down here. You gotta be careful now, okay? You're entering into dangerous territory. Yes, we are fully over. Oh god, my mind is just going to like all the different side quests now. There are so many. Again, I want to try my best to not like hint and like, but my fandom is just kind of like, I want to talk about it so bad. Believe me, Ronino, once you actually play the game, and like, you will see what I mean. Which is awesome, because but then again, I don't know if Josh ever played anything else besides Zero. Which, by the way, just to show you the difference between Josh and me, Josh 100%ed the game. I haven't. I could, but I choose not to, because I would have to put up a disclaimer. Did have to do some side content through cheating, because I cannot do this minigame, basically. Also, minigame simulator. Josh is true gamer then? I mean, if we put joking aside and be honest, I'm not gonna lie. There was a part of me that was saying Josh should be the one sitting here in this chair doing a stream for you guys, not me. Because he definitely did do a lot of stuff that I definitely know I didn't do in my playthrough. And definitely some stuff that I want to try and do, but it's... Again, I'm trying my best to not, like, give out, like, anything. I still miss my Payday 100%. Oh, yeah! I think... I think you were the one that was saying, like, it's some shit to be, like, in a situation to where they say, oh yeah, by the way, this is the end, and continues. So, like, they're still, like, updating the game. Now we're getting Payday 3, which I played the beta. I went in with low expectations because I wasn't sure. I just wasn't quite sure what all they would kind of do with Payday 3, and it's a case of I was trying to see, like, how they could improve. And I think they might be going a good route of, like, okay, if Payday 2 is the arcade version, if they go back to basics and do more of a Payday the Heist. And I don't know if they're going to flip-flop back and forth within the game or what, but you could argue that maybe they'll go with like a Payday the Heist feel in the start and then update it to be more of an arcade of like that of 2, or go like maybe with Payday 4 they would go back to arcade. But I think that is a way to always kind of keep the game kind of interesting. Yeah, they're still adding achievements. Because Lucky, which, by the way, I noticed he's no longer Lucky Charms 1313 anymore. He's now PD Lucky. I'm guessing PD for Payday. But apparently he wanted to do 100% of the game. So, and he sounds like once Payday 3 comes around, he's going to be like doing a bunch of Payday stuff. So apparently he wanted to do like 100% of Payday 2. He was doing, when I first saw it, I was like, is that a mod? Because he's doing like rounds, and there's like 10 or 12 rounds, and they're called holdups. And basically, you have like one hostage that you can like trade, and it was like so you have like a they restrict the entire map to one particular area, and you work with that area. And to make it difficult, they make sure to have an area to where you can have like snipers, and so you're restricted, but you also are going to have like some difficulty, and they do various ways, and you could either choose to trade the hostage or keep the fight going. And the more rounds you go through, the more waves you complete. It's something very similar to if you ever did the Safe House raid. It's very similar to that. Have you ever played DVD? Dead by Daylight? Funny thing is, there is actually a streamer I do watch that actually does play Dead by Daylight, but he's played it to death, so now it sounds like he's switched over to, what is it? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, and it's... I've seen the gameplay of it, and it is very intriguing, and basically all of my knowledge kind of comes from streams, and it seems like an awesome game, and I could probably have some enjoyment out of it, but it's not really a game that I could really see myself, like, getting heavily invested in. If I had some friends and we did different stuff or another, I could see myself having a lot of fun in it, but like by myself, I don't know. Because like with Payday, I can have fun by myself because that's the best way to kind of like zone in on like your skill and stuff. You can always come up with different kind of type of builds. You could kind of go at your own pace when you play like any kind of type of like stealth stuff. So after 2 years, the game still sucks and the community still sucks, but for some reason, I still like it. I feel like I had that same experience with something else, and it was probably GTA 5. Probably GTA 5. There are so many aspects of the game that I just fucking hate, and because before Payday, I played Grand Theft Auto, and Grand Theft Auto 5 really, over the years, Rockstar has done some very atrocious and disgusting things that I just absolutely hate. The most recent thing, I mean, besides going after the modding community, that's like a whole nother story of like just suing a bunch of like just random people that just, they're trying to make your game relevant, and all of a sudden they start suing a bunch of people, and yeah, that's really bad. But when you add in a bunch of content, you add in a bunch of cars, anyone could get these, and then all of a sudden, because we have a pay service now of GTA Plus, we're going to go ahead and cut everything in half and put all of it behind a paywall. And it's like, what the hell? Why the hell did you just put everything behind a paywall? It's so bad. The grind in Dead by Daylight is even bigger now. Oh, really? I did notice that's actually exactly what Overkill did with Payday 2, because we used to have like a certified... Okay, once you get to a level 100, you can essentially prestige. I know, the fucking infamy, dude. They used to have like a certified, like, what was it? It was like 26, 24 infamy. And then all of a sudden they just said, you know what, fuck it, we'll just have it endless. And then, I don't even know if there is a cap. Yeah, it was like 25 or something like that. So, it was something like that. And all of a sudden they just took it and just said, we're basically gonna make it endless. And it was like, dear God. And the whole time, it's just like, what, you just get like a mask, maybe some cosmetics, and there's really no reason to like Infamy anymore. It felt like before there was a reason, because like if you get to Infamy 5, you get like, what was it? You would get like a skill point deduction. So you could actually have like more skill points to like do a build and make it more viable and have all that stuff. A pain to grind cook-off for experience. I don't know how Cam Opper does it, dude. Don't know how Cam Opper does it. The dude's a god when it comes to cook-off. And I think he does, like, fucking bows and shit, so... They have Alien from the Alien franchise now. I think I heard about that. There is one streamer... surprisingly, I discovered her channel by playing this. She rated me a few times. Her name is Sparky, Detective Sparky on Twitch, and she seems to be doing a lot of like just kind of, I mean, just playing like any game that kind of draws her interest. She seems to be into Final Fantasy a lot, or at least she has played some of those, and I think seemed like there was an Alien franchise game that she was playing, but I forget the name of it. It was like Alien something. Alien... Was it like Surgeons or something? Or Isolation? Or I forget what it was. But it seemed like, more or less, it seemed like it was more or less something like Payday, but aliens. From the Ring, yeah. I really need to get back into Payday one day, but other games have me hooked for now. Funny thing is, Bronino just discovered Payday, and me and him have kind of been playing off-stream from time to time. I know this might sound weird, but just a heads up, Bronino, if you ever want to like team up with somebody, you could probably actually team up with Josh. Just as an option. I'm telling you, my entire channel was kind of built on Payday, so like everyone I know all does Payday. So yeah, Josh. By the way, Josh is the one. I swear to God, we need to do an Upright Citizens Brigade fucking Discord watch along. We need to do it again. Every so often, I've been thinking about it. Oh God, that's right. Yeah, you were telling me that you didn't have a PC at the moment. I can't stay alive. It's only because you're just starting out. You don't have your perk deck build up. You're still trying to get skill points. It's one of those things to where this is going to be something that you are going to learn as you play through. Payday 2 is simply there are going to be guns that you are going to like, but there's also going to be weapons and different stuff that you would notice that could probably kill a lot more than just a few, worthless trash mobs. So it's just one of those things. Eventually, you will find your footing. The game is going to feel so much more different once you actually get like full perk deck going, and also have like an actual like full like build with using all 120 points and all that stuff. Grinder, my beloved. I've actually been seeing a lot of people actually kind of use Grinder. Grinder is one of my favorites, and if you pair that with incendiary rounds, dear God, you could actually stay alive. Oh God! So yesterday I actually did a Payday 2 stream. At some point, I was like, okay, let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and do Berserker Frenzy, incendiary rounds, double shotgun, have Overkill Basic. It's a skill. That's apparently the what is it? If you have shotguns and you have the Overkill Basic, if you have the skill Overkill Basic, you have 10 seconds or 20 seconds. You have 20 seconds of damage with the shotguns, and dear God, here's a great thing. If you go dual shotgun for your secondary and primary, you don't even need to worry about the fucking time. Because you constantly have that extra damage every single time. And if you really suck and can't take on a dozer, which I also discovered if you use fire rounds and you take on dozers, you can do a lot of damage to the dozer. But you kind of need something to penetrate, I noticed. So to have the perfect build, I feel like you need to have like a regular shotgun and then another one with incendiary rounds and kind of like trade off like that. But I also really like to go with incendiary rounds just simply because if I don't get the kill, I could stun them. And then of course, I think about that, and my first thought is, I don't know why I never used heavy impact before, and it's basically the same thing. I said, sure, why not? Oh god, my fucking Grims, yes. Oh god. Yeah, so it was one of the builds I did on my channel to where it's like, I just saw the Grims and I was like, I want to make a build out of it. I just saw the akimbo weapons and I was like, I want that. And then, now with so many updates, I discovered there are actually quite a few weapons that Overkill kind of took and they just kind of nerfed. They didn't nerf it in terms of like its overall performance, but they made like the ammo pickup on a bunch of weapons that's kind of pointless. Can we switch to just chatting already? I do this a lot to where I have a tendency of just like stopping the game and just have like a full-fledged conversation because I find it way more entertaining that way. Ask Josh, he knows. He's seen me done this many times. I would just be playing a game and all of a sudden there's just, hey, have you played Yakuza? Never heard of it. What is Yakuza? Oh my god, I gotta play this fuck, and then have like a whole conversation. So, yeah. Mention a game, I just go off. I have been known to do plenty of just chatting while having a game on in the background. I've done it plenty of times. But yeah, needless to say, I kind of built my channel on Payday 2, so like a lot of my friends and people that I know, we all kind of did Payday. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point when I'm pretty sure. I would highly recommend Bronino to go through Yakuza 0 first after Ghostwire, but I wouldn't be surprised if we would have like a small group of individuals that are kind of like down to like play any kind of type of multiplayer games. We did the Payday. Don't do drugs, kids. But yeah, it is kind of interesting to see Bronino just kind of like play Payday 2 for the first time, because I'm just so used to like everybody kind of just knowing like the basic strats and everything, and to have someone that's like never even played the game, never even knew the series existed, everything just kind of feels like a little bit different. Because it's so opposite to like everyone else that I know, or at least it feels that way. Okay, so I actually kind of completely forgot what we were doing. Right.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it.
Let's see.
Makoto did it.
I think
Just
we
because
were.
I had the knife once,
This is the status of the body?
automatically makes me the killer?
I forget.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Yeah, apparently we killed somebody. We already established the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means the knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Don't think the stab killed her?
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife
Apparently I'm a
once,
mean evildoer.
that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
It's gotta be the disguise, I'm sure of it. It's gotta be the disguise. Is it truth? No, we're not. Oh yeah, maybe it is truth bullets. Yeah, I think I was looking up this to see what exactly this does. The murder took place before the sprinklers turned on. The suspect covered the body with the tarp to prevent it from getting wet later. When they removed the tarp, the suspect placed the white coat on the body. This jacket had previously been treated with blood to make it look like the corpse has been wearing. I'm assuming it's this. We'll probably just do process of elimination.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
Unless I gotta
If he did
grab
have
something.
that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
What's this? Cross?
No, that's wrong.
Okay, I didn't think that was gonna work.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
I was just gonna do process of elimination. Apparently that was my first go.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
I did the thing! It worked! Shut up, hero!
No, don't you remember?
Exactly! I said, this is my first try. The game is talking to me. I know it
The
is.
killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point.
Also, I think Josh actually has no clue about some of the changes that I kind of did over the years, and I think this is the new one that is new. That I don't think he knows yet. Funny thing is, I think he might notice. There's one particular thing I think he would probably... I want to say he was there for that stream. Dear God, there's actually so many. I should have like a thing and just be able to do it, but I don't think Josh knows about my emotes. There's one particular emote that actually. The funny thing is, Fun was the one that came up with the. He gave me a good idea of the fucking Scorch emote. So yeah, I'm still kind of working on them because I do have like, well, yeah, it's These two are basically the same. Although my favorite one, hands down, oh god. But yeah, I think he... I love my Suffer, dude. But yeah, there you go. Also, because of Josh, where's that one? Although I don't know if he could see it. Hold on. My chat. Also, by the way, I think... there it is! Also, by the way, I think Twitch also kind of made some changes to their TOS, so now I was under the impression that streaming to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, that's only for, like, you know, people that are not partnered, essentially. May or may not be, what is it, affiliates, which is me. But now it's a new rule that across the entire board, we all, basically, we all basically... There we go! I love it! Anyway, thanks. I'm just helping out Josh here with this, so I know he's a fan. But anyway, basically, now Twitch is making it to where across the entire board, doesn't matter if you're partnered or not, you can't stream to Twitch and freaking YouTube at the same time anymore. So, what is it? Simulcasting is no longer a thing, so unfortunately I'm only now on Twitch. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah. Otherwise, I would still be doing YouTube. But now we're only on Twitch. So, because of that, I now need a Twitch-only chat, so... We basically got the emotes back. I think there was like an update in my restream chat. No longer worked, but there you go. But yeah. So it's one of those things. Because I remember some of my emotes, I couldn't do them because even if I try to show them to you. What happened to that guy you used to watch on YouTube? The one from Persona 5 where you almost got mad at him because of spoilers. Oh! Whatchamacallit? Delson? Yeah. Delson, he only really watched my channel on YouTube, so I think he's one of those that basically... He discovered my channel playing Persona 4, which I still say. After playing all of Persona 5, finally did that, by the way. Yeah, he discovered my channel during oh fuck. But I can't show it because it's Yakuza 0. If I recall correctly, me and Josh, when I first streamed, I tried to stream Persona 4, but it went to shit on the first day because I had a glitch. I didn't know the engine, the game, or the port. There was a program running in the background and I had to get rid of it. What's the program that comes with MSI Afterburner? Riviera Tuner, I think. I think I had that program running in the background, and for some reason it was inflicting with Persona 4, and then that's when me and Josh we did Yakuza 0, and I can't talk about it because it's kind of spoilers. We were doing the thing. I'm telling you right now, dude, we were doing the thing. I remember it. Do you? Josh, do you remember? I'm pretty sure you did. I'm pretty sure you remember. Right, dude? Oh, God. I can't talk about it because Bronino's in chat. But we were fucking around, and we had one of the best moments ever. What was it? Was it Dark Fox 47? When he was going through Yakuza 0 and he came across it? Oh, God. The memes. Oh, God. That was easily... I never laughed so hard in my entire life. I remember ending that stream and I was like, I needed that so bad. Because I was so looking forward to Persona 4 and then to have that glitch and like the game just kept crashing. And then 9 hours later, it just... I ended up coming up with a... Because I was seeing people streaming it and I was like, surely there's a fix. There's a reason why this is happening. And eventually I was able to get Persona 4 to work. But I did Yakuza 0, and there was a full side quest that Dark Fox 47 came across, and all of a sudden... Didn't I blindside him during, like, a fucking, our podcast? Which, by the way, yeah, no more podcast. That also didn't happen. Or no longer happens. Yeah, I'm trying my best not to spoil things, but I'm trying to hint to freaking Josh, and I think Josh remembers. I'm actually going back through Discord. I swear to God, I remember when that shit was going down, like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, like, I just remember sitting here, just going through the fucking quest and shit, and then I just remember that line. I just remember that line, and I'm gonna send him the clips, and then I look over at chat because I have like Discord and everything on my other monitor, and on my other monitor I just see this face. I was like, oh my fucking God, I just kind of just lost it. Brandinho, there's a whole story taking place, and I apologize because it's a clip on Twitch, and quite possibly one of my most played clips. The only problem is it kind of deals with a full quest from Yakuza 4. Yep. My mind is going all different places right now. So, but goddamn, that was a hell of a moment. But yeah, there was a whole quest. The guy I did a podcast with, fucking Dark Fox 47, saw the quest and this and that. So it's one of those things I can't talk about until you like finish Yakuza 0, because I don't want to. I mean, technically it's not a spoiler. It's just something funny that me and Josh did that we just thought was so funny. I was just fucking. The problem was, if I recall correctly, I may have been tired that day, I was kind of in a state of, like, being completely pissed, and also just, like, I just needed to laugh so hard, and I just started fucking around, and I just kind of, I just went through the entire fucking thing. You'll see what I mean. Just play Yakuza 0 at some point.
Obviously, the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Just promise me you actually would complete it, unlike freaking Dark Fox 47, who I gifted the game, and that guy has still not completed it yet. I wonder why.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her, and once to cover it up.
Also, that's another thing. Josh, if you recall that Dark Fox 47 went through Yakuza 0, he still hasn't gone through it yet. Found it on Discord! Now you're gonna make me want to look it up. God damn it. But it's so far back. Actual years. I remember this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. The laundry list. Oh yeah, that's when I discovered that band too. Yeah, and I was posting that in Discord. Which, by the way, they have a new album. Again, if you go back in Discord. Oh god, that was the time. Yep. Yep. That's the one. Apparently I can't spell. I got it. Apparently I still can't spell. I don't know what the hell I was typing. I think a cat just randomly just ran across my fucking keyboard. Exactly. Apparently that's the one now. That's how we spell it. That is how we spell it. Okay, now I just fucked up my other one. I'll get it right eventually. But yeah, that's the one. Oh god, good times. The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot. No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down from everyone to see. By the way, I think this is the most I've ever sweated on stream. I actually think I need to take a shower after this stream. I'm just dripping sweat. I think I actually have like a sheen of just sweat. Jesus Christ. I really need to open up a door. Well, if I'm gonna sweat... Oh god! I'm looking down at my shorts. These are supposed to be yellow. They're actually kind of orange because of the sweat. Jesus Christ. That's bad. Okay. Yeah, I really should open up a window. Or something. But then again, I could also go old school and just be a disembodied voice like how I was. I just want to go back to this. Honestly, I actually do, because... Don't get me wrong. I'm okay with face cam. But if I'm, like, sick, or in this case, just pouring sweat... God damn it. Yeah, I kind of want to just be left in darkness. But yeah, these lights are just so fucking bright. Just blinding. I hate it. No more fucking beard. Listen, I hate to break the news to you, but I'm telling you now, the Gandalf beard is going away. It's going to happen. The Gandalf beard needs to go. You know how many times this thing pops in my mouth? I hate it. The Gandalf beard needs to go. It can't exist anymore. Oh my god. What are the odds? What are the odds? I'm telling you right now, dude. I'm taking this fucker hostage. I gotta do it. I seriously gotta do it. I will put a bullet in him right now. Sometimes when I just don't give a shit, my mind just tries to come up with the funniest goddamn fucking lines ever. And then there's the kind of type of comedy to where it's only, well, watch Airplane, you'll understand. 3 minutes. Oh yeah, weren't we gonna watch Naked Gun one time, and I kind of was like, oh, but apparently I think my secondary account got banned on Discord. I really want to do those one day. Clock is ticking. Oh, sure. I guess I don't care. Body was written down for someone to see. It was written down? Well, anything that was, written was this, right? But then again, we already presented that, so it can't be. Yeah, we already presented that. Something was written down for all to see. The exact condition. Well, the exact condition should be the Monokuma file, right?
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
R.I.P. Toko. He is flying through the air and sticking to the wall. What the fuck? Oh my god. It's like, why? It's just, why? Okay, I probably had another joke here, but apparently the thing is kinda... Why is nothing working? Hold on. Hold on, I got something. Jesus Christ, what the hell? Alright, you know what? Fuck it. Time has passed. Moving on. But fucking Toko is launched into the next world.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Okay, so... yeah, I really need help. In one go. Jesus Christ. I am actually sweating profusely. This is like really bad. Oh god. I feel like a basketball player. Oh dear god. I'm freaking Patrick Ewing over here. Anyone who knows basketball will know who I'm talking about when it comes to Legends. The only one explanation that I can think of for the explosion. That would be the fragments, right?
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect, you, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
The silence. We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
That depends. Found dead before the blast. Victim has been stabbed a single time with a knife. Went completely through the body. Head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. Struck in the head with a metal pipe. Okay. Body was covered with other wounds, but these were severe. These were several days. Okay. So the wounds are old. The metal pipe struck the head might be new. And stabbed. explosion?
Well, yeah, she was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
That's not it? Thought that would be.
Shoot!
Wait.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah, she was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I'm just kind of guessing.
Shoot!
Because I don't think we could, unless we grab...
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah, she was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Knife was a cover-up, and all the other wounds on her body aren't fresh. Which only leaves...
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
We might have to grab something.
Then
We
shall
probably
we
have to grab Hiro's quote of being hit in the head and then counter it with Ryaku, I guess?
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Let's just rule out the Monokuma file for now. Never mind. Game said no. Yeah, I might take a minute just to, like, air out my room and just kind of...
I refuse to give up yet!
I never sweated this bad before. At least on stream. And it's not even summer. Okay, well, summer's ending, and it should be getting cooler weather. I guarantee you, the second I open up my door, my air conditioning is going to go off.
Then shall we continue
100%.
the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah, she was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
Okay, let's grab Hiro's quote of hit in the head and then use that.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well,
Yeah?
And it wasn't because of the knife. And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Use that.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Skip that.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Boom.
No, that's wrong.
Should have known.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh! I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Real murder weapon. So we gotta look for a blunt object, I suppose. Would it be the arrows?
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna explain it, but it's... Basically, it's not gonna be one arrow, but you'll see.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Yeah, now we're gonna explain, I'm sure of it.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Okay, so it's too thin.
The titanium arrow.
That would be it.
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, they're gonna explain it. I would say, but I'm just gonna
You're
let them
right.
explain.
Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Funny thing, there's actually a homophobic slur that is actually referenced here. Because that's actually what you would call it. I can't say it because of reasons, but it is an actual quote from The Simpsons. With one stick, you're weak, but if you bundle them together, you become one almighty, starts with an F, and rhymes with forgot.
Damn, that's harsh.
I know, because it's a homophobic slur that I can't say.
How is it harsh? Were you even listening?
I actually thought that was fake when I first heard it, but no, that's actually what you call a bundle of sticks. Which also kind of sounds like a reference to homosexuals. Well, aren't you a bundle of sticks?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon.
It's funny how things are.
As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
By the way, I really actually kind of want to pull up the Simpsons thing, but because I know there's going to be a slur in there, I can't.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I forget when, but in my area, we actually had it was like a quick storm. Oh God, yeah. So like, because at the time I was, yeah. If your internet cuts out, it's all good, man. It is what it is. I just hope everything's fine in the end. But a few days ago, because I was with Brandino doing some Payday 2, I just decided I wanted to like test some builds, and I started playing Payday a little bit. I think I was even testing the build at the time. I was actually doing Greenbridge, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up. There was like a thunderous lightning storm that just quit. As I noticed it when I started the heist, it ended when I finished. And I even like called up a friend. Did a thunderstorm just roll by? And it was like, yeah, there was like thunder, lightning. And if you play Greenbridge, you in Payday 2, which is, by the way, one of the classic heists from Payday the Heist that you can play in Payday 2. But I was playing Payday 2, doing Greenbridge. You get thunder and lightning in the game, and because outside it was booming from God himself, and he was like, there was thunder, there was lightning, there was all this other shit. It was pouring, it was pissing rain, and as soon as it showed up, it was gone. And the whole time I was talking to my friend on the phone, like, dude, you have no idea, but I was actually playing Greenbridge, and I just had to look outside. There's like a whole bunch of water and stuff, and I was like, is there a thunderstorm? Because I was playing Greenbridge, and I swear to God, I was so immersed. The thunder and light, because I have headset that goes over the ears. The thunderstorm that was going on outside was overshadowing my own headset. Over the ear and enclosed, it was still louder, and I was like, dear God, I'm so immersed. obviously the Payday gang putting a heist near you. Maybe the game knew I was playing Greenbridge or something. I don't know. but I swear to God, I was playing it. I was like, dear God, I'm so immersed. And afterwards, I realized, oh shit, I shouldn't have been too proud of that, because what if, like, a thunderstorm or, like, something, like, hit my apartment or something? And it's like, then I wouldn't be laughing as much, but still, though. But it was like a thunderous storm. It was one of those things to where if thunderstorms, like, really kind of, like, scare you a little bit, it would... Yeah, you would kind of like cowered in fear because it was just so loud outside. It was really, really loud. I forget when that was, but dear God. There is a chance maybe me and Bronino just finished. So, like, you know, we just kind of ended the day, splitted ways, and I still had the game on, so I was like, let's see what's up. And then that happened. I was like, oh shit. That's why we ace Messiah. Dude, I still remember when they used to call it Pistol Messiah. And you could only get back up from a pistol, but because of all the updates and everything else. And if you don't believe me, play the Xbox 360, or in my case, the PlayStation 3 version, you'll see what I mean. They did call it the Pistol Messiah, but that just goes to show, like, how old the game is. Like, Payday 3 needed to happen, like, 5 years ago. Completely. 7 years ago, like, we kind of needed Payday 3 even back then, so. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, definitely ace Messiah, so that way you can, if you go down, you can get yourself back up. Good skill if you're on a shit team and you're the only one trying to carry. The only unfortunate thing is you might go through medical bags if you go down a lot. And you're on part of, like, that kind of type of team to where it sucks. Your team's going down constantly and you're the only one trying to do anything. And it's like, oh god, been there. Back when being to sprint in any direction was a skill, yes! I have evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. It must be connected to the dojo locker. Is that the key? I'm gonna say it's the key.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is...
Which is why I kind of think that when they do happen to release Payday 3, I kind of feel like if Payday 4 is not going to be like the arcade version of, like, Payday 2, I could also see it to where it's probably going to be something like Payday 2, to where at its start it feels harder, but as the game progresses it becomes more chaotic and they upgrade everything else. So, it's been one of the things I've been thinking about. Kind of curious of, like, how Payday 3 is going to look like in, 5 to 10 years. Because easily with Payday 2, there is a huge change from what it was to what it is.
Right here. The key to the dojo locker.
100% dude! There was so many people when I jumped into a game... Payday 3? Everybody was using Payday 2 strats! And the whole time I'm thinking, bro, this is closer to Payday the Heist, not 2. So, like, I think I saw, like, a lot of people trying to go with, like, medical bags because they thought, oh, medical bags! I can replenish my downs. Replenishing your downs is a skill. I discovered it, and I kind of feel like no one's really talking about it. And I have a hunch it might be OP because, and I brought this up to Lucky, which he might be streaming right now. He usually streams at this hour if he streams. But in Payday 3, there is a skill at the end of the med tree, and at the end, you can replenish your downs, but you can only replenish it by 1 by healing. And as long as you could get hostages in the map, if you trade them, you can replenish your downs, but only by 1. And I kind of feel like it's going to be necessary for in Payday 3. I'm sure there's going to be like a skill to where you could probably take a hostage of like police and stuff. If you could do that and then pair that with that skill, you could replenish your downs. And I kind of think a lot of people's going to be using it, even if it doesn't end up being OP. I guarantee you, in most, I think in the easier difficulties, everyone's going to be using it, 100%. Yeah, if you wanna check out his stream, it's all good, man. Payday's awesome. Lucky's a good guy. He deserves it. Also, no more Jokers. I know, right? I kind of feel like I think a lot of people that are just so never played the heist and only played Payday 2. I kind of feel like a lot of them they're just gonna jump in Payday 3 and they're gonna, they're gonna want all the skills and different stuff that Payday 2 had. I almost kind of feel like that is gonna happen. I think Jokers is gonna be one that's probably gonna make a comeback. Although, if you do that, you get into that arcade style of like, no cop is actually gonna do that, but there you go. Also, for anyone that doesn't know what Jokers is, that's what Jokers is converting a cop onto your team. It's pretty viable in the sense of, like, at least I'm not getting shot at, and that bot over there is. As you see him, like, flop around and shit. How many times have we seen that through the wall to where you just see your fucking Joker just flop all over around because he's getting shot at from all angles?
And how does that prove anything?
Because the cop is getting shot at and he's flopping. What do you need to understand your game?
Because I found it in your room.
Exactly, in your room. The Joker was flopping, okay? It's weird.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle.
Oh, God. What? This is one of those things. You could just see your fucking goddamn Joker just get shot at. And it's like, how many times have we seen it to where it was like, at least it's him and not me?
Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
Also, I would say, if you do watch Lucky's stream, I feel like the Payday 3 open beta was not that long ago. It sounded kind of interesting because it sounded like he was only playing on the hardest difficulty, and it sounds like he had like a full method of like just keep running, because I think the stamina bar in Payday 3 doesn't exist, and they were kind of using that. It sounds like they were using that to their advantage. So basically, it sounds like they were in a process, they had like a thing down to where just keep moving, don't stop. Beeline to objectives, and they have like a full strat down. So I was listening to it, but I wasn't watching it because we were streaming at the exact same time. But yeah, it sounds like his Payday 3 content seems like kind of like a must-watch, because again, it's one of those things to where if you really want to play on the hardest difficulty, having that communication back and forth in real time is very, very crucial. And I think I'm going to be seeing a lot more people do Discord in Payday 3, I think. If it's because with Payday 2, I definitely want to say it's definitely more casual. Like, you don't have to do Discord in order to do the highest difficulty, but I feel like there's a lot of timing and different stuff with Payday 3 that I think we'll be seeing a lot more people use Discord. And only team up with people that are friends, so... and I think Lucky streams for Payday 3, because that is around the corner. That because I think it's like the 19th or the 21st, I think, is when Payday 3 launches, so officially, before... Because, like, now-ish, I think, might be early access, I think.
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just... there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, it's the 21st is when it officially launches, so... There might be some people that are playing Payday 3 now, but if they do, it's because they got the early access.
I was just... protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me. Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me.
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone. Does that mean... What does that mean? What does that mean?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
Yes, he would.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke.
Oh!
What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
Yeah!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
So we're gonna use the locker room key.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Gotta shift the
If
blame
I'm
to
right,
Byakuya.
Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko, but what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The Mastermind's trap. The victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. Am I the only one who knows it's a lie? I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? Who am I supposed to? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. I made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead, and then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the Mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Still only C. I mean, that's still better than I think my first playthrough. Well, we're boned.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Hey, hold on! What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Also, I should also point out, when it does come to Payday 3, I am going to get it at some point, but I may not get it at launch, so... Plus, I got a lot of games I want to get through. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It's perfect. It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials, and I'm gonna end it the same way.
Kills! Kills! Kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling... I missed that last part. Positively thrilling punishment. Wait, what do I do? Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
That is one thing I do like about the anime. They actually don't really change this part up at all. They kind of take it scene for scene. One of the few things about the anime I did like. The visuals never change. But I do love this. Because if I played this before, and I have... Here it comes! Also, I usually like to be silent during this, so... My bad. No! Yes! Uh-huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that... Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Alter ego? Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell. I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. What are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an inch. The stupid virus is gone now. Got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you are never gonna see him again. To waste in a garbage stewing pit in a way, that's an even better special punishment. But we also don't see it. But it's still enough. I'm not satisfied. I'm gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the rest of the world. Bear laugh. I wonder if I should say bear laugh every time he does. Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko. What was the meaning of all of this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We are not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's the masterminds that's ensnarled.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You will understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope Speak Academy. I'm pretty sure we're playing we're doing New Game Plus. It brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you will be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope Speak a pretty fitting name. Oh, you gotta go to bed? It's all good, man. Appreciate you, Bronino, for hanging out with me. Again, enjoy Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm sure it's got. Hopefully, it's still fun in the end, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Afterwards, though, I hope you dive into Yakuza 0, so that way, if we happen to get Josh again, we could probably start memeing all three of us together. And then, over time, we could bring in a fourth Will? What are the odds? But anyway, get some sleep. It's all good. And by the way, if anyone else has to dip, it's perfectly normal, because time zones. They are two things you need to attend this school. One, you have to already be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. By the way, I actually kind of want to end the stream just because I'm freaking sweating like crazy. My hands are damp. That's how sweaty I am. One, you have to already be attending to high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is you are... I kind of missed that. I need to go back. I'm the worst! You have to be scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate... by the way, I probably tried to say this earlier, but I completely forgot. Brandinho is actually the reason why I'm playing this, by the way, because it was his birthday, and I kind of said, well, hey, if you have like a game that you want me to play for a day or so, whatever, I'll see what I could do. And he kind of... Apparently he saw the anime, but he didn't really remember too much about it, so he was like, hey, why not do... because there are 3 games I would always talk big, and that is Yakuza, Persona, and Danganronpa, because I think these 3 games all share similarities in one another. Very rich storytelling, very... I kind of want to say they do have, like, really good music as well in all 3 of them. Although I would say with Danganronpa, I would put it in the category of, like, easy to listen to. It's not necessarily something that I would probably put on my phone, but it's definitely something that I would, like, if I hear it in a game, I'm not skipping it, like, kind of type of thing. So, all 3 games have good music, all 3 games have rich storytelling, character development, all that good stuff. So, yeah. So, whenever I can... By the way, I played the rest of this series. I'm only down to Ultimate Despair Girls, and I heard that's the worst of the series, so I'm kind of not looking forward to it. But I can say 2 is my favorite, and dear God, there are some great moments in the series, and I ended up realizing there are actually dialogue sessions that could take place that you could completely skip over, and yeah, it's really something. I forget who all was here for that, but yeah. Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, I think, is my favorite. I actually have some t-shirts of it. I would go over and grab them, but I'm like freaking sweating, so I'm not going to touch it with my sweaty ass hands. But anyway, Danganronpa, Persona, and I skipped it. Persona, Danganronpa, and Yakuza. Those are my 3 favorite games I've ever played on stream, and I'm just very happy that a lot of you guys ended up kind of discovering some of these games. Highly recommended. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school, filled with the ultimate students, was me! Aren't we supposed to be dead? Shut up, that's the plot. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hardened wooden desk. My body felt heavy. I have poor circulation in my legs, so don't tell me about heaviness. I swear to God, sitting and standing for long periods of time, I actually can get heaviness in my legs. It sucks. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what I was doing asleep here just now, it wasn't any classroom I've ever been in before. What the heck is going on? There we go. Finally! I could finally feel my mind, my body start to come back together again. And then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invaded my nasals was very powerful. was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in, but that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here till I waste away and die? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. Alter Ego saves the day. And he used up the last bit of his strength to do it. He always said, I want to get stronger. Well, he saved us in the end. That's all you could ask for. So I can't give up now for myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of there. Okay, something to the left. Is that an airplane? How does something like that wind up in a school's garbage pit? Paper mache? Maybe? Is that a desk? It's probably the one that fell down here with me. That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. Well, I see a door. Rats. We're locked. It's locked. Well, I guess we waste away down here. No matter how many times I pushed and pulled and kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. Perfect! Great. We could get my... If we eat it, I'm pretty sure we could get my stomach ache that I had like a freaking 2 weeks ago. But that was pointless too. Yeah, I kind of had like a weird stomach ache that was like coming and going. It got really bad. I think it was like a week or two ago. I think on Friday. That's when it went from just like discomfort and pain to straight up like there's actual digestion problems. Anyway, luckily that's all done for, but to be fair, it could have been some bad ramen I ate. A friend of mine said it smelled like a hardware store. I thought it smelled something like cooking oil. So take that information for what you will, but that was the first time I ever smelled dry food that had a very pungent smell. It was so weird. I still ate it because I bought it, and I'm the kind of type of person that I don't throw it out unless I have to. Although, looking back, that was definitely a time I probably should have had to. But, yeah, it was bad. Next, I search for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are not all around? Bad idea. Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides, but that's still not enough reason to give up. Because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. In trash? Perfect. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left. After not being able to eat or drink, I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed, and all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? That strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, a pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from above. What could it have been? Did a giant pile of garbage just fell down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with...
Just a second.
Nani? A giant piece of trash. Rude. Before she even merged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Love what you did with the cup of ramen. I wonder if that's the same ramen that got me sick. This place smells awful. Kyoko.
Indeed.
You look like you are doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. Please tell me she's going to have the cup of noodles this entire time on her head. Also, is that supposed to be an egg? Whatever. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. Yeah. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
There we go. First, I had something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Bread and water. Better than nothing. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way down my stomach. Through that, really did hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. You still haven't given up, then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I kept going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. I suppose keep talking? But Kyoko, why did you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt, or... No, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything, so you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive no matter the cost. What is that? Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'm not telling you. I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you everything. The reason I had to survive is so that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak for one very important reason. So you have a reason for coming to Hope's Peak.
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did once. Once. Until recently, I've forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... Well, she does have amnesia. I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted and I woke up and I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it, at that point, my memory was gone. At that point, I forgot. I couldn't remember why I come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all of that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the Mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my abilities, somehow they would interfere with the Mastermind's plans. So the Mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the Mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I have been investigating things by myself this whole time, but it was to say, but what if what you say is true? Why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the Mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the Mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make it too big of a deal, it's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The Mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were at least likely to be... You were the least likely to be the Mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way any ordinary kid like me could have been the Mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. Is it nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you. It's just not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I'm just not used to relying on others. I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you are not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. I hate these moments. We could just keep talking, but for whatever reason... I'm gonna see if there's, like, coins, I guess, but... For some reason, the game... throughout the entire series, it feels like moments like this would just happen to where... There's nothing else to do. She's the only one here. Clearly, we need to talk to her. But the conversation just breaks like this. To be fair, usually that is a sign of like, hey, there could be something in this room. You could click around it. But we're also near the end of the game, so... You said you had a reason for doing all of that investigating on your own. So how did that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose, my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for, I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective.
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone. Who?
So...
Well, it was the mastermind of Hope's... it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster. Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Plot twist.
In other words...
Nani? I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster. Then that explains... When Alter Ego told us he thought the headmaster was involved... I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I'll find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost. Kyoko, what's going on? If I recall correctly, I think that was when we first discovered Alter Ego. Or around the time we discovered Alter Ego. My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole life purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. The desks, drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I found. But why there? Because I found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entire Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro Ikusaba's profile and that key. The map shown that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for facility use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured that headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went
Correct.
to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However,
but once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And really ominous.
However...
Of course... Okay. Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed.
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules. With that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. Mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bonded by the school regulations. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. Uh-oh. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about. Do you mean... during the night. I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I could hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
that wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all of this was meant that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind,
Indeed.
right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like. Wait, doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the only one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they are the ultimate despair.
It would seem...
The despicable group whose only purpose and motive comes from despair, then they
Indeed.
are, make no mistake, they are the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. To be continued. They even set up the game for like a anime or manga. I would keep going, but I am sweating profusely, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Yeah, it's... I never sweated this bad before, ever, so... I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think this is just one of those days. Plus, anytime when I do happen to do a visual novel, it's usually hell on my throat anyway, so... usually it's only just kind of me in chat, so... Oh, okay, Josh is still here. But I don't know how long Lucky is going for, but basically if I do anything, I'm going to hang out over there for a little bit, I think. I think he's doing Payday 2, so... all I just know is that's where I'm going. I would host him, but it's usually just me, so... Anyway. But I usually do this for lurkers and all that stuff. My next stream will be on Wednesday, because I stream Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'll be continuing Neo. I have been getting my ass kicked in that game so much. Danganronpa, because Branino is just now getting into Payday, I kind of did Payday yesterday, thinking maybe he will jump in. If not, I could probably, like, point some stuff out for him. Any way I could kind of help Branino, kind of... It's kind of weird being with somebody that has, like, never played the game ever and has, like they're starting from scratch on every purpose, every form of it. So because of that, I'm kind of like, I'm trying my best to, like, kind of give them without going into DLC. I want to try and avoid DLCs as much as possible, because there has been so many updates with the game. You could come up with a viable build without DLCs. However, when I first started back in probably like 2014, well, actually no, it was probably like, no, actually it could have been 2014. Yeah, I think it was 2014, because I remember it was whenever the GTA 5 heist wasn't released, whenever that was, because that's when because I remember thinking, why worry about GTA 5 heist when we got Payday 2, so I'm kind of, like, trying my best to, like, give them, like, good pointers of, like, viable skills, different stuff of that nature, and most importantly, trying to come up with ways that I hope he doesn't get discouraged. Although I did notice he was actually a big fan of, like, snipers, so literally, like, any other game, any other weapon in the game, I feel like is more viable on, well, at least on a higher difficulty. But my mindset is kind of like, if you could do it on higher difficulty, you could kind of run it on any difficulty. So, yeah. So because of him, I'm kind of, like, slowly getting back into Payday again. If I do stream it, I'm, like, doing, like, test builds, doing public lobbies. If anyone wants to join, you know, you have the option to. Which is what I did yesterday, and even if Branino doesn't jump into any of those, he kind of just got Ghostwire, so looks like he's really diving deep into that. Hopefully it's good in the end. It seems like a game that I probably would have played. Definitely I would have passed on it if I didn't stream, because basically streaming has really kind of opened my eyes to, like, different genres, different stuff, which I'm now, like, starting to think of, like, all the different games that I kind of got into through streaming. I got into Yakuza, I got into Danganronpa, I never played Devil May Cry, and I think I completed 2, and if I dive into it again, we're going to be doing Devil May Cry 3. So, and thus far with that game, I actually don't know why I passed on it. It's actually, well, actually I know why. It's because of the fixed camera angles, and even going through Devil May Cry 1 and 2, it was, I didn't like the camera angles. The fixed cameras, it just didn't, I just didn't like it. But I'm pretty sure 3 is when it changed, and they were doing third person, which, thank God. Because, yeah, I think you wouldn't be fighting the camera as often. But, anyway. I do a lot of ranting and different stuff anytime to where I talk about different games I'm playing and into and all that stuff, but Wednesday, we are going to be doing Neo. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and hang out over in Lucky's stream. Please do follow me on Twitter or Discord. Well, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord if you so choose, so that way you could probably see when I go live exactly. All that good stuff. So, yeah, I can't think of anything else. But, yeah, I think I forgot a Y there. I'm the worst. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate everybody stopping by. I really do appreciate you showing up to the stream, and I still misspelled that, because that's usually how I do things. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Born to lose, live to win. I love you all, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for some more awesome Neo. I'm sure I'll be dying 1,000 fucking times, but goddamn, I gotta say, it's a pretty fun game, and I am digging it, so. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Later. I'm gonna go hang out in freaking Lucky's channel. Go watch Lucky. Good dude.